Fire like facts. Hello everyone, welcome to Fire Like Facts. Financial scandal seems to have exploded in recent history, with financial fraudsters amassing billions of dollars in illegal profits and sapping the livelihoods of countless people all over the world. Financial fraud, on the other hand, is far from a new phenomenon, nor is it limited to emerging economies. As many would have you believe, and can be traced all the way back to the shady selling of the Roman Empire in 193 AD. Here, let's take a look at the financial fraudsters that are most interesting, as well as the exploits that have made them eligible for consideration in the first place. Number 1. Charles Ponzi. Despite the fact that the Italian-born businessman turned con artist was far from the first to use the scheme, the financial incentives and the media exposure he attracted meant his name would be forever associated with it. He promised investors, in effect victims, a highly lucrative return on investment. Ponzi discovered that the price of foreign reply coupons, which could be exchanged for airmail postage stamps in other countries, varied from country to country and could be exchanged at a profit of up to 400% in some cases. Ponzi made the equivalent of over $4.5 million in today's money in just a few months and enjoyed a luxurious lifestyle. However, once the authorities learned of the scam, the fraudster's fortunes soon crumbled, leaving 6 banks in scrambles and causing losses of more than $20 million to his numerous investors. Number 2. Kazutsugi Nami. On March 18, 2010, the chairman of the Tokyo-based bedding and linen company LNG was sentenced to 18 years in prison for what may consider to be Japan's largest investment fraud. Whereas the vast majority of large-scale financial scams target investment funds and the rich, Nami preyed on the common man, defrauding 37,000 people out of 1.4 billion. The con artist enticed investors by promising a financial safe haven in the form of enten, a fictitious digital currency that means divine yen. The businessman promised interested parties that as the world's economies collapsed, the currency would appreciate in value, promising them a 36% annual return. When Nami started paying dividends in enten, however, investors became irritated and the company declared bankruptcy in November 2007. In the end, he told reporters that, "I have put my life at stake. Why do I have to apologize? I'm the poorest victim. Nobody lost more than I did." Number 3. Salvatore Cacchiola. Salvatore Cacchiola was sentenced to a lengthy prison term by Brazilian authorities after collaborating with the central bank to prevent the real's depreciation in 1999, which cost the treasury $1.5 billion in damages. Cacchiola fled to Italy shortly after his arrest in the year 2000, where he remained until 2008 when he was apprehended in Monaco and extradited to Brazil. Judge Roberta Carvalho Souza, on the other hand, gave the former Banco Marca CEO's punishment in April 2012, after which he served just a third of his original 13-year term and met the decree's criteria. Number 4. Kweku Adeboli. In 2012, Kweku Adeboli, a Ghanaian national and Nottingham University graduate, had been sentenced to 7 years in prison. The bank's share price had plummeted by $4.5 billion and the firm's then CEO, Oswald Grubel, had resigned with immediate effect. It was discovered that the 32-year-old up-and-comer had participated in numerous off-the-books activities while at UBS, including gambling away $2.3 billion in unauthorized trades, the biggest illegitimate trading loss in British history. Adeboli's rapid advancement through the ranks saw his annual pay rise from $30,000 in 2003 to $200,000 plus bonuses in 2008, during which time he learned how to manipulate financial reports and conceal his losses. Number 5. Javier Martin-Artajo and Julian Grout. According to a government ruling released in September 2013, JP Morgan traders Javier Martin-Artajo and Julian Grout manipulated and inflated the value of position markings in the synthetic credit portfolio in order to achieve specific daily and month-end profit and loss objectives. They artificially increased the marked value of securities in order to hide the true extent of significant losses in that trading portfolio. To put it another way, the traders conspired to commit various acts of securities fraud in order to conceal trading losses totaling $6.2 billion. The situation was dubbed the London Whale at the time because of the large amounts of money involved. The London Whale team spoils, headed by trader Bruno Excel, landed JP Morgan with a $1 billion fine, which was used to settle US and UK regulatory investigations. Furthermore, the bank's own Jamie Dimon was forced to accept a pay cut, essentially tarnishing his unblemished status as the bank's CEO and raising questions about broader concerns within America's Big Four lenders. Number 6. Kim Woo-jung. The group, which Kim had built from a small textile business to the second largest industrial conglomerate in South Korea, was saddled with debts totaling more than $70 billion. Insiders inflated Daewoo's equity by $30 billion between 1997 and 1998 in order to keep the scale of the company's losses off the books and away from prying eyes of investors. 20 executives and accountants were sentenced to 6 months in jail as a result, and Kim left the country in 1999. On May 30, 2006, the once famous businessman and philanthropist was sentenced to 10 years in prison for his part in the country's largest fraud case. Number 7. Jerome Kerviel. In March of this year, France's highest court confirmed Kerviel's 3-year prison term and requested a review of the 4.9 billion euros in damages due to his illegal dealings at Societe Generale. The decision came more than 5 years after the 37-year-old former trader was found to have made $50 billion in unauthorized transactions, causing the bank to suffer record losses. The former trader, who was born in Brittany, said that bank officials were aware of his actions and that they were willing to overlook them if he made a profit. While en route to Paris in March, he told reporters, "The only target was money, money, money for the bank. I didn't give a damn what I was up to." Number 8. Bernie Madoff. Madoff pled guilty to 11 federal crime charges, including stock fraud, wire fraud, mail fraud, perjury, and money laundering in 2009 when he was 71 years old. The remark came after the former Wall Street trader was sentenced to 150 years in jail for defrauding his clients out of $65 billion, the largest accounting fraud case in the history of America. Bernie Madoff was a wealth manager who perpetrated one of the world's biggest financial scams. Bernie Madoff's Ponzi scheme defrauded tens of billions of dollars from tens of thousands of investors over decades. That's it for today. Please comment below any of the fraudsters' names that I might have missed. With that said, see you in another episode of Fire Like Facts. Like, comment, and subscribe.